Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to spawn objects in a sphere shape around another object. So right here in my scene I have one main cube and a bunch of smaller cubes spawned around it, but all of them are spawned in a grid shape. So if I go into my PCG graph, this is what it looks like. I have a surface sampler that is connected to a transfer points node that is then connected to a density filter. If I uncheck the debug option of the density filter, we can see that the main cube I have is not here anymore. Then I have the density filter connected to the target of a copy points node and a create points grid connected to the source of the copy points. If I uncheck the debug option of the copy points node, I can see that the small cubes are gone. And in a previous video, I talked about this topic, but if you are not able to see anything, this is because the gold points outside volume setting is turned to true. If I do that, you can see that none of the small points created by the create points grid are here. So I need to uncheck this setting. So right now we have all those small cubes spawned around one main cube but in a grid shape. To have a sphere shape, you need to look for a distance node. I will connect the output of the copy points into the source of the distance node and the density filter into the target. In other words, the target is the main cube in the middle and all the small cubes around are the source. If I check the debug option of the distance node and uncheck the debug option of the copy points node, we can see that nothing is changing. So what I'm going to do right now is check the set density setting of the distance node to true. If I do that, we can see that all the cubes here are black. It means that they will disappear if I attach a density filter to them. So I'm going to do that just to show you. If I put the density filter, turn the debug option on, and see that none of them are here anymore. So this is because in the distance node, the maximum distance is 20,000, which is very big in this case. If I change that to a smaller value, like 400, I can see that some of the cubes here are white, or in other words, they won't be removed by the density filter. As we can see here, after unchecking the debug option of the distance node, we can see that only a few of the cubes are still here. This is because the distance is way smaller. If I change that to an even smaller value, you can see that I have even more cubes here. So I can also play around with the density filter and change the upper bound or the lower bound. What I'm going to do right now to make it even more visual is I'm going to connect that to a static mesh spawner. And I'm going to spawn one mesh, which is a barrel. I can see here that all the meshes I'm spawning are in a circle shape. And if you want, you can just play around the density filter values to have more or less. And you can also invert the filter. In that case, this is not really interesting. But if you play around different settings, you can make it so all the points that are close to the middle will be spawned and all the points that are far away from the middle will not be spawned. So this is it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.